When a corporate crisis strikes, the board of directors has always been active, but the tempo and quality of crises have changed lately, making the board role more demanding in some important ways. First, crises that threaten shareholder value and often the company itself are becoming more frequent and more severe, kind of like weather, and the variety of potential crises has become more diverse. A classic old-school example was the collapse of the Penn Central Railroad in 1970. This was a slow-moving, literal train wreck of bankruptcy. It shook up the entire U.S. rail system, and the road's stuffy, inbred, overloaded board of directors had been oblivious the whole time. A half-century later, corporate crises have far more drivers than long-term corporate sloth. A plunging stock price, a product recall or disaster, a major data hack, an investigation, or increasingly a top exec tweeting or saying something impolite sets off a corporate firestorm. Directly tied to this is the screaming velocity increase for corporate crises today. The good old days of a Wall Street Journal or Business Week headline starting a downward trend are now superseded by light-speed internet panics. In the course of one workday, your company can go from a winner to a breaking item on social media, to a plunging share price, to strike suits filings by 5 p.m. Such speed becomes accelerating. In July, CBS saw a sharp drop in its stock price due to online speculation that a news article might suggest that CEO Les Moonves was a sexual harasser, and he's now the subject of a board investigation. Today, by the time most boards ask themselves if they're prepared for a crisis, the tsunami has already struck. This leads to the final change in the climate of corporate crises today. The board can no longer casually keep itself appraised on the situation and sit things out. It now has to take an immediate, hands-on approach, digging for facts, making itself helpful, reaching out to important audiences, and too often having to launch its own investigation, or witness the situation with Papa John's Pizza. A board member himself might prove to be the crisis. For the August issue of Boardroom Insider, I compiled some of our best recent articles on how boards can prepare, respond, and keep their heads when a crisis strikes. It's crucial to know this now in the boardroom, because you won't have time once the crisis hits. I'm Ralph Ward from the Boardroom for August.